The computer in my car alerted. I looked at the call and saw it said confirmed holdup. The information we were given was the suspects were leaving in a black Honda Accord. They were basically coming right towards me.
I'm at Faro in Clemson. I'll try to catch up. Person following. 10-4. I just made a left. I think I see it. I just made a left on the long road.
When I heard the emergency tone, my ears peaked up. A bank robbery is one of the most serious calls because not only would it carry penalties within the state, but federally. I wanted to be the one to get behind the suspect. I was within a minute and a half to 2 minutes of making contact. Clemson approaching Fair Road.
As I got closer, it was a black Honda Accord with a 45-day tag. It's a bank robbery suspect. They just robbed a bank. They all are armed. Okay, this is gonna be chase them till the wheels fall off.
Central 631, I'm behind a dark and color Honda Accord. It's a temporary tag, KBF Auto Sales. He's turning into Longleaf Middle. Negative, turning left onto Heather Green. Yeah, crashing right on the Heather Green.
I began getting into a hunt mode. We had our prey. All we had to do is get them to stop.
That's one of the reasons I got into law enforcement as well was, got into it to drive fast.
We stop, we're making a right on the Corson Loop.
Corson Loop is lined with houses, both sides. Every street off of Heather Green Drive ends in a cul-de-sac. So obviously I know that, and it's either gonna be them running on foot or a shootout. I had my seatbelt off, my left hand was on the door handle, my weapon was out of my holster.
We were both locked in on the vehicle. I'm not only going after these subjects, I'm keeping an eye on my deputy, and I'm going to do whatever I could to keep him safe.
We're passing Camus Court. Making a left at the dead end.
I caught my mirror, and that's the first time during this whole incident that I knew somebody else with the sheriff's department was with me.
I've known McAdams since before he was a deputy sheriff. He's always been a very steadfast officer. He's got the fighting spirit.
Or correct, making a left, correct. Making a left.
Something told me, don't know what it was. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I saw windshield fragments go everywhere. I had no idea how many times my car was actually hit.
Shots fired, shots fired!
I was able to hold the driver's door open with my foot and fully get down in my driver's seat.
I did feel the rounds hitting my car. I could hear them still impacting McAdams' vehicle as well.
I don't necessarily remember feeling any, being scared, being frightened. It was more or less, what do I need to do to make sure I make it out of this?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Time slowed down.
My goal was, at that point, to try and draw the fire and keep it from McAdams. I was able to draw my weapon, and I leveled up on one of the passengers getting out of the vehicle. And I fired through my windshield. I struck him twice in the leg. I'm yelling to McAdams to make sure he's all right.
Cover my side! Cover my side! Tactical gear. Right.
We have 3 subjects at large. McAdams and I were only 2 deputies. We had residents that had been home starting to exit, so containing the scene at that point became the chief priority.
Once my mind caught up to what had just happened, just felt like I was gonna throw up everywhere. Definitely was weak, and I ended up trying to catch my breath and calm down. I remember asking if I could call my mom. I just needed to talk to her.
As McAdams and I are returning back to our cars, there's a bystander coming down the road beeping the horn and saying they fled. They were in another vehicle.
This sucker, we get flagged down on the scene. They're alleging they got into another darkened car Honda Accord.
I knew everybody was coming. Once you put out shots fired over the radio, everybody in the county's coming. I remember talking with Captain Duke and saying how I wanted to go after him again and that I should have been the one chasing him the second time because they just shot at us, and just the definite mentality of, you just did that to me, now I'm really gonna get you. You're not gonna outrun me.
Myself and 31 are gonna be forever here.
And Captain Duke said, no, besides the fact that it's a crime scene, he was like, Ryan, they flattened all 4 of your tires. I was like, I can ride on rims. I'll chase them down on rims.
After a few minutes, I heard Deputy Copenhaver was directly behind the vehicle.
Bank robberies don't happen every day in Richland County or in the Columbia area. They had been involved in a gunfight. I can't think of anything more dangerous than somebody who's willing to shoot it out with the police. We weren't going to give up till they were apprehended.
I'm going to bump this to church.
Their speed was anywhere from probably 85 to 100 miles an hour. Those roads are not designed for that kind of speed. There's very little shoulder. I figured the longer we let this go, the more chances for a bad outcome.
All right, crossing Fisk Church, outbound Wilson. Region 3, also be advised that the vehicle is now passing. Going to oncoming traffic. Around oncoming traffic off the road. Still outbound Wilson.
A mom in her minivan, I believe she had her children in the minivan, was coming southbound. This takes us to a different level.
All right, Max, scratch it. If I get a clean shot, he's going in the ditch.
At that moment, I thought for sure, when he came around that semi-truck and I saw a van coming at him, I said, this is where it ends, and it's going to end in a traffic collision, and it's going to be bad. If something happened to me, I knew the ramifications when I signed my name on the line to be a sheriff's deputy. That mom and her kids didn't. This is going to be one of those scenarios like, you know, we're just going to bang him in the ditch. We're going to terminate this pursuit as quickly as possible, because he was not concerned about anybody else's safety. I was even questioning if he was concerned about his own. The adrenaline factor and the risk factor of this scenario was Probably the highest I've seen in my 25-year career. He forced me into the back end of him. At that point, was like, okay, all bets are off.
All right, I hit him once. Stand by for a second shot.
Stop. Maxwell, get out of the way, Maxwell.
And it kind of shot him off the side of the road, and he hit a street sign and came back on. But at this point, his hood had popped up. I was basically have a front row seat to a catastrophe.
Still moving. One ditch is hood is blocking his vision. Still outbound.
I think the fact that they showed total disregard for anybody else's safety, that was maybe one of 3 times in my 25-year career where I actually got angry at a suspect.
Scope, when you hit him, stay down.
They were expecting a second gun battle to ensue. He was driving completely blind. My thought was, we're gonna bring this to a conclusion, one form or another, right here and now. Two of the suspects flee out the back passenger door into the trailer park. The driver's still in the car. Myself and Brad Maxwell took him out of the car at gunpoint and placed him in handcuffs safely. We had the other 2 in custody probably in about 45 seconds. When I searched the car after we had all 3 in custody, we found close to $10,000 in U.S. currency that was stolen from the bank. There was a Mac 11 and 2 handguns.